episode 7. I'm your host, Tyler Olthoff, and with me as usual is Kyle Wakeling.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Brian Sharon.
Bonjour, bonjour.
Jasper Bleh.
Hola, hola.
I still can't get it. And we have Yuki, like usual, sitting in the Skype chat, talking to us, trying to distract us. And before you can say it, Yuki, I am recording. I've been recording for the past 25 minutes, so you can't get me. So let's head on over to what we've been playing. I've only been playing a couple things. Tearaway, I've platinumed that, so I'm awesome. Just thought I'd say. And I've been playing a lot of Hot Shots Golf with Kyle and Ben, who's the YouTuber guy that joined us last week. Having a blast with that. But that's about all I've been playing. What about you, Kyle? I mean, Brian.
That wasn't set up at all.
It was not set up.
So, no, I've been playing Tearaway as well. I finished it. I didn't platinum it, so shake my fist at you. You can't see it, but I'm shaking it vigorously. Apart from Tearaway, I jumped back into Persona 4 Golden. I'm about halfway through, about, 30 hours into it. So I'm enjoying that right now. It's been a while since I played it. But apart from those two, just for fun, I played a bunch of PlayStation Mobile games for review. As you guys probably know from listening to the podcast, we're launching a big PlayStation Mobile movement here at the Vita Lounge. And so I reviewed 2 games. I reviewed Penguin Party, which is a directional puzzle game from XMPT. And it's free on PlayStation Mobile. And if you guys have ever played the Dreamcast game Choo Choo Rocket, which is also available on iOS and Android from Sega, it's very similar. You're just sending out, with a click of your finger, a bunch of penguins, and these penguins only go in one direction, but you lay a bunch of directional buttons on the field. It's a grid field, and you direct them to the goal. Along the way, you have to pick up balloons and other objects in order to make it a little more difficult for you and to get the gold trophy. And I don't mean trophies in the PlayStation sense. So yeah, I enjoyed the game, and I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. It's kind of a no-brainer because it's free and it's a remarkable game. And from the same developer, I've been playing Monster Hotel, which is also a puzzle game, although pretty different. In Monster Hotel, you're juggling a whole bunch of monsters and who are playing residents at this hotel, and they have a list of demands which change on a whim. And every time their demands change, it's up to you to meet it or they drain your life. And if you meet their demands properly and timely, they will give you coins. And it's basically a race for coins, and you'll eventually lose, and it's up to you to see how far you can go, and the more coins you get, the more you unlock, and the more you unlock, the bigger the hotel you can get. The only problem is that the PlayStation Vita's touchscreen isn't as sophisticated as other devices, like tablets or smartphones, and there's a little bit of a delay in the dragging, and there's a lot of errors. Later on in the end of the game, when you have a lot of monsters, they can overlap, and it can be difficult to see who you're trying to drag, and dragging them to another room can be a slippery operation. So, unfortunately, because of a lack of features and a lack of other modes other than the campaign and the touchscreen lack of sensitivity, I gave it a 2.5 out of 5. How about you, Kyle? What have you been playing?
A ton of shit. I've been playing Ridge Racer. I've been neglecting it a bit, but gone back and trying to get some of the trophies that I'd missed. Playing Need for Speed. Gotta love those racers, right? Cleaned up pretty much all the trophies that I missed in the single-player mode. Just been screwing around, kind of hitting billboards, stuff like that, trying to flip cars. Went back and played some more Spider-Man. Good game. I just wish they'd fix those frame rate issues, because it really does take away from the experience of it all. Played Tearaway. Still going for all those trophies there as well. And I just cracked into E's Memories of Celceta last night and played about 2.5 hours of that, though.
Lame.
I'm still not sure what the hell's going on, so I'm not really sure if that helps. It's good though. The animation and stuff like that is pretty decent. I mean, it doesn't look like a great Vita game, but looks better than a PSP title, I think.
That's good.
Yeah. So I not been playing too much because I'm still very busy. A few titles include Pokemon. Oh wait, that's not a Vita game.
Get out of here.
I'm sorry. Now, I've been playing Stick It to the Man. That's something that Kyle has not been playing.
You jerk.
I've also been playing some Killzone again because it's just too good, and well, I can lose 10 minutes a day in Killzone. And then I've been playing the Flower demo to see if I like that. And well, I thought it was quite interesting, and I may be purchasing the full game. But at the moment, there's so many things I want to buy, and I don't have enough money to buy it all. First, I still need to buy Tearaway, and that's going to be the first priority.
It should be.
Yeah, it should be.
Worth the money.
Yes, sir.
Is that all you've been playing, Jasper?
Yeah, that's all I've been playing.
Okay, so let's head on over to the new releases. What do you got for us this week, Brian?
Yeah, there's actually a few new releases this week. In both Europe and North America, we have Rainbow Moon, which is available today, which is Tuesday. We also have Stick It to the Man, is also available this week in Europe and North America. Terraria is also available, although it's not up at the time of this recording, in Europe and North America.
Boo.
Yeah, I know. We're waiting for the update, and we're hoping that it comes out today. Also, Sonic Racing and Urban Trial.
Herbal.
Yeah, Herbal Trial. No, Urban Trial will be free for North American PlayStation Plus users later this month. And also, I wanted to mention, as part of the European 12 Days of Christmas, yeah, we like that too in North America, but alas, Spelunky is on sale today for day number 2. It was €14.99, and today it is €6.99, but there is a 10% discount for PlayStation Plus members. And that's it.
Woo. Yeah, okay.
So go ahead, Jester.
Yeah, thank you, Pat. So, Stick It to the Man isn't out yet, but I've been playing it a bit, and I would say it is quite good. If I recall correctly, other reviews have been quite favorable too, but the art style is great. It's sort of, 2D objects put in a 3D, sort of perspective, and you have quite nice gameplay, it's not really platforming, but you jump around a bit, and you use stickers to progress. The music is really good, basically. Yeah, it gives a bit of a older TV show feel. I find it very enjoyable. Check it out, I guess. And then Sonic Racing, I reviewed that a while ago, and it's probably the only decent alternative at the moment for Mario Kart. It has great track design, but the controls and the graphics on the Vita are not so good, so I would consider picking that up for a console instead. But now it's free with Plus, so just give it a try and don't listen to me.
That's exactly what I'll be doing.
Me too.
But I normally don't ever listen to you, so.
Yeah, I know.
Just kidding. Alright, so that's all we got for new releases. Let's head on over to the news for the week. So, let's start off with a few release dates for stuff. So Ollie Ollie got delayed until early 2014, which sucks because I'm pretty sure a lot of us have been eager to play that one.
Boo!
I would have grind it all day.
You've been what?
No, I would have grinded all day in Ollie Ollie.
Gotcha. I'll just move on.
Skateboarding game. Yeah, okay, you got that.
Ba-dum-tsh. Alright. So, Mutant Mudds Deluxe, the 3DS game that is getting brought over to the Vita, has a release date of December 17th, so pretty soon. And that's for North America. I don't know if it's similar for Europe, but yeah. So if you're in North America, Mutant Mudds, I've heard it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So I'll have to check that one out.
Anyone else played it?
I've tried I think that there was a demo on the 3DS store, right?
Yeah.
I hated it.
I thought it was really good. Really enjoyable. Really nice art style. I expected to be really pixelated, but it works well. Colors are beautiful. And the 3D effect is awesome. It's really, that's why I'm quite a bit worried for the Vita port, that it doesn't look quite as good, and the game doesn't work quite as well because it doesn't have 3D. But we'll see. We'll see.
OLED.
We will see. We'll see on December 17th, or if we get a review copy, whoever gets the review copy.
We'll see early. Yeah.
All right, and moving to the next game, we have Girls and Panzer Master the Tank Road. I have no idea what that's all about, but apparently you're girls that drive tanks. Am I right?
Yeah, it's based on an anime series of the same name, Girls and Panzer, which is pretty popular. It looks. The one interesting thing about Girls and Panzer, the game Master the Tank, is that it'll also be an action title that's largely in 3D, which is maybe something we might not have expected early on.
Okay. Well, that one is dated for June 26, 2014, but that's just Japan, so no word on a Western release. And moving up to the next one, we have Tokuden release date for the West, which would be, I'm excited for that one, which will be February 11th, 2014 in the US, and February 14th, 2014 in Europe. So if you're interested in that one, it's a weird release date.
Yeah.
It's a perfect present for your special someone.
Wow. Not too big a fan of those games.
Well, I know what I'm not getting you for Valentine's Day.
I prefer chocolate.
Okay, I'll mail chocolate to you.
Yeah.
Alright. Anyways, Indoor Sports World was announced and dated for December 17th, just like Mutant Mud, so we got 2 games coming out on the same day. So, Indoor Sports World, if you don't know, is like a series of sports games that you can play inside, so that's kind of why it's indoor.
Wow, that's a pretty descriptive name.
Yeah, I know. If you don't understand it, then there's got to be questions. But there's pool, darts, air hockey, and some other stuff, so that one's coming soon, so check that one out. Are you guys interested in that one at all?
It could be interesting.
Play the pool, probably.
Depending on the price, I think I might check it out. If there's a demo, I'll definitely give that a whirl.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's cheap, I'll buy it.
Yeah, so we'll see. There is multiplayer stuff, which could be really entertaining, so...
That's true. We had fun with golf.
Yeah. Up next, we got Planet Destroyer Blackheart, which is having a release date of May 29th, 2014 in Japan. I know nothing about this. Do any of you guys know about this game?
Well, it's from Hyperdimension. It's a spin-off of the character Noir, who's a popular character in that series, and she's getting her own game. So I know fans of that series will be excited. I don't necessarily know that that game has such a huge following stateside or in Europe, but we do know that Hyperdimension Neptunia is a pretty big game.
Okay.
Huh. As you can tell, the excitement for that game has reached a fever pitch among the TVL staff.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yuki said it sounds like an anime game. And
what tipped you off to Yuki? Was it the name of the game? Like that had several words. Yeah, the name.
The name. Of course.
The fact that it's going to Japan might be a big tip-off.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, because they don't play anything but anime games, apparently. Tyler.
They play other stuff. Just saying, everything that's getting announced for the Vita seems to be anime, but I'm alright with that because I like anime games, so...
Yeah, I'd agree there. Nothing wrong with that.
Alright, yeah. So, with other news not regarding release dates, we got some free PlayStation Mobile games. Roomed Capsule and Passing Time is on the PlayStation Mobile store, so go grab those for free. I really liked Roomed Capsule, and Passing Time is not working for me. Every time I try to do the tutorial, the touchscreen stops working, so I can't even get past the tutorial.
Really,
so I'm just passing time, sitting there waiting. That was a bad joke. But anyways. So yeah, have you guys tried those games out yet?
So I downloaded them, but I haven't played them yet. But I hear they're both very good, especially Rim Capsule. A lot of people were saying back when they had that Sony event in the E3 home, I think it was, where you could get it. They were saying when they got it then that it was really good, but I think I gave my code away, so yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I've been playing a bunch of those. I'm going to be reviewing both for TVL, so look out for that this week. Rimmed Capsule, I already knew about Rimmed Capsule quite a bit. It had been brought to my attention on other platforms that it was a great game, so I was excited to pick it up. As Yuki mentions in the chat, it is sort of Tetris meets base building. It's sort of an RTS resource management type game where you're defending your base through Tetris-like corridors that you have to actually build yourself. So yeah, it's interesting. And then passing time, I didn't have the same problem that you did, Tyler. I actually got to download it pretty easily and it works pretty well. The only issue I have with passing time is in much like Monster Hotel in the later stages, the Vita's touchscreen doesn't really compare, and there's a lot of errors. You might be shooting forward and then it passes backwards, even though you're clearly pushing on the front of the touchscreen. So we'll see. I'll talk a little bit more in detail in my review.
All right. Yeah, I'd really like to actually have some time with passing time, but like I was saying, that issue prevents me from progressing at all. So, all right, and I think you mentioned earlier, but the 12 Deals of Christmas is going on right now, which has Spelunky up, so go grab that. As I've mentioned, I think in almost every episode since, it was my game of the week, so definitely worth grabbing if you have the funds available. Also, the Vita outsold the Wii U in Japan, so that's always good to hear, considering the Wii U is not doing very well, and the Vita is still struggling, but is starting to pick up, considering the PS4 is offering some cool stuff feature-wise for that. Do you have anything, Brian, you want to talk about?
Yeah, the most interesting thing about the Vita outselling the Wii U this week is the fact that Mario came out this week. Mario has been a staple not only of gaming as a franchise, but of Japanese game development. And the fact that Mario himself couldn't save that console for at least 1 week from the PlayStation Vita doesn't bode well for that system. Although Nintendo always does well closer to the holidays, so we'll monitor that situation as we move forward.
All right.
Yeah, I think it's quite a funny situation that the 3DS is absolutely rocking the charts, but the Wii U is bombing, which I don't like too much because I do like Nintendo consoles. I don't have a Wii U yet, but I had hoped that Super Mario 3D World will give a nice impulse to the Wii U sales, but apparently that hasn't really happened in Japan yet. But of course, it is good news that a Vita is selling 21,000.
Yeah, this is a Vita cast.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think it's good news for the Vita that its sales are picking up, and definitely shut the mouths of the Vita hater crowd.
Well, I'll chip in, I guess. I'm glad that the Vita has outsold the Wii U because really I didn't see that as a very good leap forward in technology, going from the Wii to the Wii U, as well as the way that they marketed it. It's just as bad as the PlayStation Vita as far as marketing and the way that they've portrayed it in the media. So it's really no surprise that the Vita outsold the Wii U. As for Mario, I'd just like to say this is kind of an indication that Nintendo should switch to software only and just release their stuff on every console, because I think they'd really sell more at this point. People are starting to, pick sides.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of... I used to have a Wii U, actually, and we got rid of it because we never played it.
I'll clap for that.
Boo.
I tried to get into it. I mean, the first week was pretty fun. I enjoyed playing a couple of games, and then I was like, well, there's nothing coming out for a while, and I'm bored, so back to what's fun.
That's why you inform yourself on what games are coming out in the future, so you can make an educated purchase.
I was excited for Monster Hunter, played that for maybe an hour, and realized I don't care about it anymore. I'd rather have it on the Vita.
Monster Hunter. Bleh.
Yeah. Anyways, let's move it along before we talk about Nintendo too much.
I never talk to
Jasper, time out. Just mute your mic. 5 minutes. We'll come back.
Let's move on, Tyler. Let's move on.
All right, so Tearaway just came out recently, and we've already got our first person trying to make penises on squirrels' heads. So that's going to get you banned. So be warned, if you decide to cut out some awkwardly shaped paper and place it on squirrels' heads, do not upload it, or you might get yourself banned. Have any of you guys done some weird papercraft?
I haven't necessarily made my own paper penises, as it were, but I have to say, like, from his post, it's a Reddit user who let us know that he got banned, and from his post, he doesn't seem to. I'm just gonna say he seems like a young person, and perhaps he didn't know what he was doing, but that's not really an excuse. But my advice is, if you're gonna do something like that, just don't upload it. Have all the fun you want. Put genitalia all over the world of Tearaway. And but just don't upload it for the world to see. But that's all I have to say.
I don't think I want to see what your world of Tearaway looks like, Brian.
I'm just going to say there's a lot of pictures of you.
Oh.
Yes.
I think that'd be kind of cool, actually, if you could visit friends' worlds or whatever to see what they've done.
I think there's a game called Animal Crossing that does that.
Yeah.
Okay, back to Nintendo.
Yeah, let's not do that, although Animal Crossing is really good. But yeah, I think...
it hasn't been 5 minutes, Jasper.
No,
go ahead.
I'll go back to my bench.
Oh, okay.
No, not
all
really.
Right. Well, okay, did you have something to say, or are you just going to talk about Nintendo some more?
Yuki says, how much does Nintendo pay you?
Who do you really work for, Jasper?
Well, I don't. I work for a local supermarket. That's it. They don't sell Nintendo
Called
consoles.
Nintendo. All right. Anyways, so Castle Storm DLC came out. I think it was last week, actually.
Yeah.
But it was like right after I think the podcast went out last week.
Yeah, it was November 27th.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have Castle Storm, which is a great game, Brian and I shared some lovely experiences on that. They released some Castle Storm DLC that is story-based, and I heard the story DLC is actually pretty long, so if you're looking to add some more time to Castle Storm, that's the perfect way to do it. Have you downloaded it at all, Brian?
We're actually waiting on a review copy, but which it will be coming. We've been promised it from Zen, so kudos to them. There are some technical difficulties on their end that we're trying to work out. But yeah, no, it definitely is something you should look into if you enjoyed Castle Storm, because it's only $2.99 American and euros, I believe. So yeah, I believe that you should look into it. Both DLCs look promising, and we'll have a review later in the month.
Sweet. Mm-hmm. What was that, Jasper?
I said yep.
Kind of like marp.
It was the Dutch version of yep. Nope.
Oh, okay. All right. Also, PlayStation Vita TV is being rumored to come to North America and Europe. So I can't remember what the rumors are. What are they?
So basically, the rumor is that on the PlayStation blog, they posted the Killzone Mercenary updates, the couple updates that they're issuing over the next couple months. And in both the US and the EU blog, they posted some stuff about the PlayStation Vita TV, and that the 6th update would actually bring updates that would allow the game to work on PlayStation Vita TV. Since then, the US blog has actually pulled it down. I'm not sure about the EU one, and they've reposted without that bit. So it's kind of a suspicious posting. Also, the fact that Asia was posting it as well, and the Asian blog didn't mention the PlayStation Vita TV update at all. So that was kind of odd. Brian has something to say. He has something to correct me. I bet.
Yeah, no, they didn't. Just a small thing. They did pull it down momentarily, but they reposted it. They didn't take anything away. They actually added to the sentence. So after they said it would be updated with PS Vita functionality, I'm paraphrasing, obviously. They then put in brackets where PS Vita would be available regionally. So they were definitely aware of the blip that they put out into the internets.
It's funny that they didn't post it on the Asian PS blog, though, because the fact that it is going there and they have already announced that. So
yeah, everybody here knows, but I posted a piece about it saying just that. So yeah, but sorry, Tyler, you had something to say?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting that was posted, and I was looking all over Twitter, and some people from IGN were saying like, "Oh, this is just mistyping, blah blah blah." And it's like, okay, all right, well, someone had to write it and think about it. So if they were smart enough, they would have said where it's available or Japan only or blah blah blah. And it's kind of proving it that it will eventually. And I think there was no doubt that it would come to other regions soon, or if not by summer sometime. So it's looking good if you're interested in PS Vita TV for sure. And that's all she wrote. Anything else you guys want to talk about of PS Vita TV?
Not of PS Vita TV, but actually there was some pretty big news that broke today. We were talking about December 17th and a bunch of games coming out then. Today, or just a few hours ago, it was announced that the indie game Euphoria HD will be heading to PlayStation Vita on December 17th.
All right. I've never heard about that.
Yeah, it was available on multiple mobile devices as well as the PlayStation 3. It's sort of if you think about Flower meets Flow graphically, but set with RTS real-time strategy mechanics. So yeah, we'll see how it turns out. The port to PlayStation Vita isn't a lazy port. They've actually brought it up to an impressive 60 frames per second, which is much more than the 30 frames per second which are found in other devices. And also, they've changed the inputs to relate to the Vita's unique input, like control inputs. So yeah, we'll have an eye on that moving forward because that's coming out pretty soon.
Cool.
Yeah, I think I'm interested in that one. I haven't looked too much into it, but I thought the art style was really elegant and simple. Thought that the colors were really well chosen. So I'm interested.
Yeah, it's definitely a game that's known for its art style. I believe that the developer, I believe his name is Rudolph. Oh, geez, I put myself on the spot. But Rudolph Kramers. I might be pronouncing that wrong. But he actually made a point of the fact that the Vita screen was a point of contention for him, and he was actually nervous about it moving forward because if you've seen screens or trailer for Euphoria, it's a lot of small particles that you have to manage, and he was worried about the PlayStation Vita's screen having enough real estate to properly convey that. But fortunately, according to him, it works out unbelievably well, and he's really impressed by the way it turned out. So we'll see.
Nice.
Yeah, cool.
All right, so up next we have our Game of the Week, and this week we're bringing it to Jasper. So, Jasper, what is your Game of the Week?
My Game of the Week is Persona 4 Golden. It's actually the only game which has gotten a perfect score on the Vita Lounge, and I wrote that review, and I think it's an absolutely amazing game. For those who don't know Persona 4, it's a role-playing game. It originally came out on the PS2, while the PS3 was already long out. It sort of combines traditional dungeon-crawling role-playing and with Pokemon-like turn-based combat. It combines that with sort of a social life, and everything relates back to grinding levels in every sort of way, and that's why I find it really fun. And the story in Persona 4 Golden is, well, great. I just love it. Very emotional, and I can relate to it because I'm a teenager like the people in the story. Also, Yuki just wrote that P4G shipped 700,000 copies, which is really good actually for such a title. I know for a fact that Persona games have never sold over the million, so getting close to that is really cool. Nearly as much as the Persona on the PS4. Persona 4 on the PS2, I'm sorry.
Yeah, 700K is pretty impressive, especially when you consider that game sold virtually based off of word of mouth. I personally have never seen any marketing for Persona 4 Gold in Canada, at least. So yeah, it's a really impressive number for them to reach worldwide. But going back to my topic of Euphoria being not a lazy port, according to them, Persona 4 Golden is the perfect example of the way you port a game to PlayStation Vita. Nothing was lazy. It looked better. There were more features, more characters, more dungeons, more to do, and it was connected to the internet, which is fantastic. So yeah, I think every Vita owner deserves Persona 4 in their catalog. So I agree with you.
Yeah, my friend actually just bought a Vita a couple weeks ago, and one of the games I recommended for him was Persona 4. And actually, over the weekend of Thanksgiving, yesterday, he talked to me at work, and he was telling me that he hates me because he's been playing Persona 4 like every day for like hours and hours on end. I was like, well, I told you it was a good game, so it's worth getting.
I think that's awesome. For the amount that they've sold on word of mouth, it's also a Vita seller, really. A lot of the time when I see people post, hey, I just got a Vita, and like the picture of like what they got, the PlayStation Plus card and blah, blah, blah. Almost every time there's a Persona 4 Gold in there. So it has to say something about the console that, 90% of the time when you see a picture like that, there's Persona 4 Golden in the picture.
I think that's partially because the PS Vita, obviously, with Persona 4 Golden, it very much appeals to the people who liked the PSP. So people who want to buy a portable game console, and well, the PSP, obviously, PSP had Persona 1, 2, and 3. And this is a great time for those people who really love Persona and like handhelds to just buy the PS Vita and just get Persona 4 Gold because it's so amazing.
Yeah,
Right.
I'd also say that Persona 4 Golden is a game that even if you're not necessarily into RPGs or JRPGs, it's something different. It's a unique animal, and you will probably enjoy it even if you're not fond of those two genres. So yeah, I completely agree with you, Jasper. It's something that everybody should be looking into if you want a Vita.
Yeah. Just want to mention a bit about that. Yeah, it is a RPG with, well, lots of grinding and lots of battles, but the battle system is so extremely, fluid, except for the boss battles, that you really don't notice that you're grinding and that you're playing it for 5 hours long, because it works really well. And then on the topic of anime, there are quite some people in the Western world, like me, for example, who don't really like anime. I don't hate it, but don't really enjoy it too much. But this game is sort of westernized, so it contains some anime cliches, but not too much. It doesn't get annoying. So that's why it's suitable for a lot of people, I think. And yeah, it's really fun.
Speaking of how great Persona 4 is, I know we kind of talked about this last week podcast, so I don't want to talk about it too much, but the fact that the Persona announcements that happened and all we're getting is Persona 4 Dance. I mean, dancing is great, but how big would it have been if they said Persona 5 is coming to PS3 and Vita? I mean, it irritates me almost a little bit that they wouldn't even think about doing it. Shut up, Yuki, I will never get over it. But it's something that could have been huge, and I mean, I'm sure Atlas had to look at the Vita and say it did so well with Persona 4. Why don't we bring Persona 5 to it? And I'm hoping later on they'll say, yeah, it is coming. We just didn't feel like announcing it then because of business crap and blah blah blah. So yeah, I don't know. It's just something that's been on my mind a lot.
All right. Just jumping back a bit before I comment on that, Tyler. What Jasper said about it appealing, Persona 4 Golden appealing to people who don't like anime. Just to note, it does appeal to people who like anime as well. I'm, I guess, an otaku, so you could say I like Japanese culture and anime, and I found the game great, even though it did shy away from a lot of the more obvious cliches, let's say, that Japanese culture brings. So anime likers will love it too. And going to what Tyler said about Persona 5 not coming to Vita, I do think we will see it on Vita. It's just, I think they were getting that last push out on the PS3 before it becomes sort of irrelevant, because even though, the consoles exist together for a couple of years, the last couple of years, it becomes almost irrelevant. They're all ports and, underdeveloped games compared to what's been out.
Yeah. Yeah, you saw that with Persona 4. It came out on the PS2 and the PS3 have been out for like 2 years, I think. They just take quite long developing it, and I think we will see sort of an upgraded or maybe something like Persona 3 Portable, which was in some ways a downgrade graphically, but in other ways, like the battle system, an upgrade. So I think we will see that on a Vita, given that track record that every Persona game has had every mainline Persona game has had a release on the handheld.
Yeah. All right. So I think we talked a ton about Persona, so I think we can move it along unless anyone wants to throw in some final thoughts.
Oh yeah. Yuki says something interesting in the chat. He says it's one of the only games that questions sexuality. I think that's quite interesting. For those that don't know, there are gay characters in there, and there's in Persona 4. Persona 4, there's a homosexual character, and there's a character who is female but dresses up as a boy. And I think that is really progressive for them to include that, which you don't see often in games. But what I still miss is you can't have in Persona 4 you have a relationship system, so you can have a relationship with people, and with the main character is a guy, and you can at the end have a love relationship with the girl. So if you level up that relationship all the way, you can have a love relationship, but you can't have a love relationship with a man. So that so I think that it includes homosexual characters is interesting, but it does include some nasty stereotypes about them too. So I think it's good that they sort of comment on it, but the way they do it could still be improved.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't want to stay too long on the subject, and while at first glance, what we notice with that homosexual or potentially homosexual character seems largely progressive, but the way they handle that situation later on in the game, it borders on homophobic stereotypes. There's a lot of teasing and razzing regarding that character, and it can be a bit curious at times. There are also a lot of cliche sexual innuendos that are typical to anime or Japanese media or games. It's almost 1 foot forward, 2 steps back. So I don't know. At least the intention's there.
Yeah, just one thing. I think that there's some cliches in there that just really seem off if you're looking at the total scheme of the story. I mean, it handles things pretty maturely, but then there's some incidents in which I feel they're kind of trying to pander to some sort of audience. That's the only very slightly negative point I could think of regarding the game. And just like to end this with buy Persona 4 Golden right now.
Because it's our game of the week.
Yes.
Very nice. Way to bring that back around.
Yeah, sort of a weird circle.
All right. Well, let's head on over to our listener mail with Kyle. What do we got this week, Kyle?
So we've got 2 listener emails this week. One from a new face, one from an old one, I guess. I'll read the one from Jack here first. Hi guys, it's Jack Gall again, the Brit who loves PlayStation. I'm really enjoying these podcasts a lot, and I have a question. Am I off spectrum, or do you guys have a funny feeling that Gorilla Cambridge will make another game for the console we all know and love? Keep up the good work. Oh, and before I forget, how did you guys come to know each other?
I think depending on sales and its overall scores, I think it would. But if it's not going to sell well enough, then I don't think they'll take the time to worry about that. But the good news is with all these constant updates, it's really showing that they're supporting it. So I could see them thinking about it and working on it. They could already be working on it right now, and we just don't know. But yeah, and to answer his other question, where we all came to meet, Kyle and I met on a forum for the Vita, and then he wouldn't stop molesting my messages, so I got uncomfortable, so I tried to get a restraining order. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, we met on a forum, and we just went from there, and I thought he was kind of cute, so.
Tyler, stop revealing all our dirty laundry on the air, man.
My bad.
Yeah. Regarding the first question, I think that that could be a possibility, seeing that Sony doesn't really like dedicating their main studios like Naughty Dog, Guerrilla Games, those studios to Vita games. So I think a side studio Guerrilla Cambridge, they're called. I think that could be very likely. I would be interested to see that, since I think they're quality developers. Second question, sort of met Kyle, Yuki, and Tyler. We sort of knew them from that PlayStation Vita forum, and I joined the VitaLounge.net somewhere, a bit more than a year ago, I think. And, then the others applied over time. And, we sort of started talking a bit, because you have to know who you're writing with, of course. And that's how it came to be.
For me personally, I'm going to jump back into Killzone for a second. I think it's largely possible that we'll see a sequel. It is one of the more premier games on the Vita, although I doubt it would be made by Guerrilla Games. The reasoning I'm using is that the updates that they're offering are rather significant for a Vita game, and I'm not so sure that they would invest that much development into those updates if they were planning to make a sequel. I think they would have relegated them for a brand new game. Personally, but that's a speculation, and it very well could happen. As for how I met the guys, I haven't known them quite as long as some. I'm sort of the baby of the group. Yeah, woo.
Yeah, it's funny that I've been on the Vita Lounge the longest.
Yeah, I've only been here a few months, and the way I got into contact with these fine gentlemen is I was a Canadian video game blogger that dealt largely with local Canadian video game development, covering them for my personal blog, and I was actually a fan. I've been reading the Vita Lounge for quite some time, and I reached out to the Twitter account, and I let Paul Murphy, the founder and co-creator of the Vita Lounge, know that I was interested in writing, and fortunately for me, they had a vacancy in the North American staff, and I joined on, and forever from there, I'll be part of the staff as long as I can. And actually, on that topic, without going too far into it, we're currently looking for some EU staffers right now, and if you're a talented writer, you can get into contact with the official the Vita Lounge Twitter account and let us know if you're interested in writing for our European staff.
Or you can just mail jobs@thevitalounge.net.
That's why you're the editor, Kyle.
Yeah.
So smart.
So, addressing the questions here, do I think Gorilla Cambridge will make another game for the console? Yes, I do think that they will make another game. Whether they're doing that now, I don't think so, unless they're in the planning stages where they don't really need the developers to actually code anything or anything like that. I can't see them being very far. But I could definitely see them doing another game. I'd welcome either another Killzone or something brand new. But yeah, I could see them doing something in the future, just based on the response that they've gotten, and just how good of a studio they are at supporting those who support them. As for how we came to know each other, so I joined the Vita Lounge through Paul. I met him on PS Vita forum, which has now become something else. And that's how I joined the Vita Lounge. I started talking to him, and we just kind of clicked the same kind of ideas, the same kind of push for the Vita. Then I met Jasper and Yuki also through the forum, although I didn't really know them that well until I joined the Vita Lounge. And Tyler was actually partially a recruit of mine. Me and Murphy were looking for somebody to join the North American team, and recruited him from the PS Vita forum as well. So Brian was the only person I really haven't had a hand in or anything.
That's gross.
Or
Sorry, you asked me to
really,
cough, right?
or really known up until his joining of the Vita Lounge. So, yeah, he's the baby, and we treat him like one.
I suckle on his teeth daily. It's for all that nourishment.
The teat of knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah, just like a baby, he wears no pants. So.
See?
True,
It all
true.
comes together.
Yeah.
All right, is that all we have to say about that topic, or any?
You forgot about Yuki.
Oh, Yuki. Sorry, Yuki.
The forgotten
You have to
child.
start talking, and then we won't forget about you. Maybe.
Yeah, it's weird how it
If you
works.
coerce you into talking, that might work. But Yuki was also joined the Vita Lounge through the forum. He met Paul through the forum, and kind of one thing went to another, and that's how he got here. Although he doesn't really remember it well.
All right, thanks, Jack, for sending that email. Let's head on to the next one.
All right. This one we have from James Marsh, who I believe may also be Stan's dad. Having completed Tearaway, I was left disappointed by the ending, and was wondering if any of you fine fellows were left with the same feeling. I found the message was disappointing, but also found the final hour should have been the final half hour. Oh, so shorter. I felt it dragged on way too long. I also felt that it suffered frame rate issues towards the end. So as great a game as it was, I was left slightly feeling disappointed. I would also like to note that I agree more third-person shooters are needed, as we were talking about last week.
All right. Interesting. I mean, it's not going to be for everyone, that's for sure. I don't want to spoil anything because the game just came out so recently, so I don't think any of us should really talk too much about exactly how the game ends. But I liked it. I mean, it's hard not to spoil.
Well, don't tell them that the whole world gets lit on fire. Just can't be fair.
Okay, I'll have to edit that out.
Oh.
All right.
Burns.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you.
Okay, well, I have a question for you guys real quick before I continue. Have you guys all finished the game?
No.
Yep.
No?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Jasper, you don't even have the game, that's right.
Yeah.
So, Brian and Kyle, you both said yeah?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so it's so hard to not spoil, but
It's not really that.
I liked it. Well, I just don't want to say something wrong, and then I'll make Jasper all mad at me, and they'll start playing Pokemon and crying.
Well, I'll do that anyway. The Pokemon part then, not the crying part.
There you go. Well, like I said, I think 3 times now, I did like the ending. I think it really summed up my whole experience, and I don't know, I really liked it, but also, yeah, we do need more third-person shooters. Brian, what do you got?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's really difficult to answer this question without spoiling things, but I'm going to do my best. So I agree with James in the fact that it is short. The ending should have been longer, but at the same time, I'm not sure if another level, despite how craftily Media Molecule created the game, I'm not sure whether that last level would have drawn on the experience a little bit too long. But that being said, from a content perspective, yes, it would be nice to see more of it. As for the ending itself, I didn't find it disappointing at all. In fact, I thought it was one of the more redeeming qualities about the game. Without spoiling what happens, I play video games to take things away from them that are beyond gameplay mechanics, and it definitely offered me something there. I will say it's a tiny bit emotional, and I don't think that's a spoiler. And for me, that's why I play games. So that's me personally. How about you, Kyle?
All right, so I just wanted to say one thing you kind of misunderstood, and it was because of my misstep, I think, when reading it. He says that the final hour should have been the final half hour, so he wanted it to be shorter. This I don't agree with
completely.
Yeah, this I don't agree with at all. I actually thought they could have thrown another level in there before the ending. I would have liked to have played a little bit more. There was actually a couple times when I thought it was going to be the ending and then it wasn't, which I was grateful for because there was more to play, but I also thought it should have been a little bit longer and maybe not giving you that feeling, because the dread of the ending was kind of, poor for somebody who likes, how long games are. As for the actual ending itself, hit me right in the feelings, without spoiling it too much. Hit me right in the feelings. I was smiling like an idiot the whole time that, stuff is revealed. And it really was something that I want to play through the whole game again to experience. Though it doesn't give that much replay value, it would be worth it to go through the game again just for what changes it could bring to the ending. Let's put it that way, without spoiling.
Yeah, I agree with everything you guys both mentioned. But yeah, I got the platinum actually pretty soon. Basically, when I got the game, started playing it, I couldn't stop, and I got distracted with all the little camera stuff and all the little weird trophies that are in the game. So the game actually took me a while to beat because I got distracted so much. So I thought the game was actually a good amount of time. But now that I'm done with it, I do wish there was a little more. But yeah.
Yeah, I think if you just blaze through the story, it will feel pretty short. But I think you're right. I think the intention for the player is to meander around and explore the world and jump out and take pictures and explore creating things, and then jump out of the game and actually make real papercraft. So that extends the entire experience. But I agree that if you just plow your way right through the actual campaign of the game and don't plan to return, it could be a little bit of a light experience.
Yeah. As Kyle was saying, also, like, coming back and playing some more, even though I've got the Platinum Trophy, I do want to restart the story and play as the girl, Atois, and see how it, and play, like, from a girl's perspective, like, make the person think that I'm a girl and all that, and see how it changes, because I think that adds value to the game.
So, just before we jump on to anybody else, who did you guys play as? I know that Tyler played as Iota. I played as Atois. How about yourself, Kyle?
I played as Iota, so.
Yeah. So I played as Atois. I enjoyed it. It was a little bit of a different experience for me.
Did you sorry, did you play, or did you make the narrators think that you were a guy or a girl?
Well, that was the one thing. When you start Tearaway, you're given the option to create either a male or female character, Iota or Atois. And my fear was that if I had chosen Atois, that I'd be referred to as a female. Thankfully, Media Molecule actually allows you to choose yourself as a male, and I did that. So it was, I don't want to say a romantic experience because that sounds really creepy. But the way I felt about Atois and the way that my story was written, or portrayed to me, was very similar to that of something you'd find in The Walking Dead or in The Last of Us, that sort of father-daughter relationship. So, yeah, it did change the way I looked at the game.
Interesting.
Still no transgender.
Yeah.
Iota Trois or something. Don't know.
Well, I mean, you can
Yeah, to
Sorry,
the credit, you can basically make, regardless of what the character is referred to as, it's really rarely referred to as male or female. It's more just the name, Atwa or Iota. So technically, you could make your own character and make it as ever you'd like. We see Wolverine, X-Men, all these other characters being made in the game, so you can make it as you'd like. But you're right, binary gender choices are something that needs to be looked at in the future.
Yeah.
Also, I just wanted to comment on, he said that there was frame rate issues towards the end. Did any of you guys experience that, or?
I think I had it happen once, but I was running around like crazy doing a lot of stuff. So it does happen, but it didn't take me out of the experience.
I agree with Tyler. There's a couple instances, but they're barely noticeable, and however, there are a few glitches. I noticed quite a few glitches, especially if you fall off of things, you can get stuck in the environment. But with the amount of textures that are rolling around in paper and so forth, it's to be expected.
All right. I think that's all we got for that email. Thank you, James, for sending that email. So I think that's all we got this week. Is there anything I'm missing?
No email from Lester?
I guess we'll
I think you missed
have to
us
wait
this
for his
week.
next episode. All right, so let's get out of here and enjoy our week of no Terraria. Dang it!
I'm working on it.
No Terraria? What are you talking about?
Well, it's not on the store yet, so I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah, but it's only 3:37 p.m. here, and from my time perspective, it updates usually at 5. They have everything in there, so it still could come. We're just not sure.
Kyle, you're just trying to make me feel better. I appreciate it, but
until then,
we'll feel better. I'm playing Ease, you know.
Okay, get out. All right, let's end this before Kyle insults me some more, or makes me feel bad. All right, so you can find us all on Twitter. I'm at Mr. PSVITA Reviews. Kyle is at Teflon Tactics. Brian is at Brian G. Sharon. Jasper is at JASBZ. And Yuki is at Yuki_WR. You can also find us on Facebook. Just search the Vita Lounge. Go like us on there. I'm always on there talking to people, so go there. Say hello. Also, our forum is still not up yet, so we do apologize for any issues we're giving you with not being able to talk to us. But we're on Twitter and Facebook, so if you really need something to talk about, just shoot us a tweet or something on Facebook. Also, there's a TVL game night thing that I believe that we're going to start doing. So, Kyle, did you want to talk a bit about that?
All right. So we're just in the late sort of planning stages here. We've got the idea and set the night. So Saturdays, we're going to have a TVL game night. Tyler and I, hopefully with somebody else from the team joining us, as schedules allow, we'll be hopping on different games. And we will be inviting pretty much anybody who listens or follows us on Twitter or anything like that to join us. So if you want to join us, when we post on Twitter, hey, we're going into a game or whatever, message back or throw us an email and we'll be sure to add you to our account so we can get a hold of you.
Sounds exciting.
Yep.
We got to do some hot shots because that was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Hot shots, yeah.
We'll go get it. It's cheap.
Yeah. I think he already has it.
No, so for somebody like me who doesn't have it, how much does it run on the NA store?
I'm not sure exactly. I know it's pretty cheap. Under $20 for sure. Oh. I know a lot of the time it's up for like $13 on sale. So if you don't have it now, watch for it.
Yeah, you did just miss the Cyber Monday sale when it was $10.
Oh well, there you go. You just missed the sale.
So you have to go back in time, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
If I roll back my Vita's clock, will it still come back? I don't think that's how it works.
I don't think it is, but you could try.
I will. I'll do it pantless as well.
Oh, good.
That's the only way to do that. Pantless.
All right, well, let's get out of here before we talk about what Brian is or isn't wearing. So... Anyways, just like our two readers or listeners sent in, you can email us questions or your game of the weeks at podcast@thevitalounge.net. So once again, thanks for listening and have a great week.
Goodbye.